everybody, welcome back to Recurrent. I'm Liz, and I'm here today to help you make sense of electric cars and the technology in them. So today we're going to talk about a really important question, and that is range really one number? So a lot of times when you hear people talk about the range in an electric vehicle, it's something like 300 miles. But the truth is that's not actually how range works. The range that your car is going to get depends on how you're driving, where you're driving, what the weather is like. It's actually exactly the same as with gas cars, but people just don't think about it unless their tank is almost empty. And in most cases, the same things that burn up gas in your tank are also going to lower your EV's range. So you could think really fast acceleration, going uphill, or driving in really hot or really cold weather. But there is one exception, and those of us used to driving gas cars know that your fuel efficiency or your range is going to be highest when you're on the highway. It's not the same with electric cars, and in fact, electric car range is going to be highest when you're doing city driving, stop and go driving, or going slowly. So back to the concept of range. There are actually 3 range numbers for you to think about. The first one is EPA range. And this is what you see on the window sticker in a car and you see in advertisements. The EPA range is calculated based on a set of very strict protocols. It's a really helpful guide, but real life driving is not the same as driving in a lab. The second range is what we call real range or actual range, and that's like the range you see if you actually are in your car in real life situations. You're usually not going to use the full range of the car, but the real range is how far you could go on one charge. Now, this will depend on a lot of environmental factors, and it's totally possible that even if you drive the same place every day, it will take a slightly different amount of energy each time. Okay, number 3 is dashboard range, and this is the number that you see in your car. It's calculated by the computers in your car, and it's usually based on how you've been driving recently and what the external conditions are like. So if it's really cold and you've been driving really fast, you'll see a lower dashboard range than if you're driving slowly on a warm day. So we know that all of the nuance around range can cause some anxiety for new EV drivers. We want to break down a quick tip about how you can figure out what your real range is when you're in your car. Think of your car's battery like a water bottle. If you're sipping it slowly or driving slowly, then that water bottle is going to last a long time. On the other hand, if you're really thirsty and you're guzzling it, you're going to go through the water bottle pretty fast. Now, it's mostly the same with your car's battery. Okay, so here's how you can estimate your car's range on any given trip. First, you need to know the size of your car's battery in kilowatt hours. If you're not sure what kilowatt hours are, check out our previous video. If you don't know your car's battery size, it's a simple thing to Google. Next, you're going to want to find your efficiency in miles per kilowatt hour. In most cars, you can find this on your car, on your dashboard, either right there front and center when you're driving, or sometimes you have to go over to an information or an energy screen. That number should be somewhere like 3 or 3.5 or 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Okay, next, you just multiply those two numbers together. So for instance, if you have a 100 kilowatt hour battery, which is pretty big, and your efficiency is 3 miles per kilowatt hour, then your real range, the distance you can really go, is like 300 miles. If your efficiency is really high, like 5 miles per kilowatt hour, you can go 500 miles. And if it's really cold and you're on the highway and you're only getting 2 miles per kilowatt hour, well, you can only go 200 miles. Now, of course, these numbers are just estimates, and things like temperature or the road or how you're driving will affect your actual range. More importantly, you're not going to be driving exactly the same for 300 miles, so this is a calculation you can do on the fly as you're driving. Finally, remember that you don't want to rely on 100% of your car's range, and for best practices, try to keep your battery between 20% and 80% state of charge. And again, that's for the lifespan and the health of your battery. All right, let's recap our 3 takeaways from this video. Number 1, EV range is not a single number. It varies based on things like weather, how fast you're driving, and how old your car is. 2, there's a difference between the EPA range, the dashboard range, and your car's actual factual real life range. Sometimes two of these things will be the same, but you can't count on it. And finally, you can estimate your car's real range in any situation by multiplying its battery size in kilowatt hours by your efficiency in miles per kilowatt hour, and usually you can get that on your dashboard. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe, share, and drop any questions you have down below into the comments.